Hi everyone. Today we're going to do an exercise with Photoshop and Snap Lens, and you're going to have an assignment to create a pair of glasses based on found objects. So you should have downloaded the assets for the tutorial and have that on your desktop. And now open up Photoshop and go to Create New. And under Art and Illustration, go to the 2000 pixel grid. And we're going to change it to 8000 pixels. Make sure it's pixels. And 8000. And I will call it Glasses Example. And we'll keep all the rest and then hit Create. So that should give us a good size to work with. And what we're going to do is use the images from the assets to create a glasses design. And this is based on some of the stuff we were looking at in the lecture of examples of kind of found object masks. And we're going to use glasses as a template. So if you go to the folder that says glasses template, there's two options. There's a round pair and a square pair. And I'm going to work with the round pair. So I'm going to open this, right click and open with Photoshop. So that opens up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a guide, but I am going to take some of these found objects and use them to design a new pair of glasses. And if you look through some of them, I just kind of found these collections of objects to sort of give you an idea of things that you can use and cut out. There's all kinds of things here to think about using as material for, these are textures, more textures, object collections, and there's a whole bunch of different things that I just kind of found to give you some inspiration and ideas to work with as material for constructing a new design. So there's a lot of just kind of like random weird things in here. These are capacitors. These are kitchen items from the 18th and 19th century. There's just a lot of things in here to kind of get you motivated to find different kinds of objects to use for your designs. And you don't have to use the examples that I give in the assets here, but it can be a place to start, or you can just use what I've given you. But you can look through that and get an idea of some of the things that you might want to use when you do this on your own. But I'll give you an example of what I'm going to do and go through it step by step. Okay, so I have these glasses. I've already cut them out, so there's no background. So I'm just going to take them and drag them into my document here and scale them up and then hit enter. So I'm going to use this shape to kind of create a new pair of glasses out of different objects. So if I, let's see, go to open, and where's that folder? Found objects. And let's see, I am going to use an image from here. So here is, I think these are like washing machine parts or something. I'm going to use this object and cut it out from there. So I will grab, see, first I'll use the magic wand and select that white background. My tolerance is too high, so I'm going to deselect that and put that down to 30. And then click on that again, still too high. I can see it's too high because it's selecting over here. So I'm going to deselect and put that down to 20. Still a little bit, let's see, let's put it down to 10. Okay, so that's good. So I've selected the white pixels and I'm just going to delete those. I have to first bring this, unlock that layer. So now I'm going to delete those white pixels and Command D, deselect. And now I'm just going to take I could use the magnetic lasso tool, but I think I can just lasso it, even though this is a tight spot here. So I'll start right in here. And I'll go around there. And I don't have to go along the edge because the lasso is just cutting out the whole object. And I've already erased the background pixels. So I'll get there. Grab my move tool. And I will pull this out and then drag this over here. Okay, so now I pull in the corner. So I don't know what this object is, but I'm going to use it to create a glass design. And I'm going to repeat this over and over again and go around the edges. And once I move it, I've turned it, so I have to hit enter. There's a fast way to copy and paste a bunch of objects, and that's to hold Option and Shift and then drag it out. And then you want to let go of the mouse before you let go of Option and Shift. So now I'm going to turn that and kind of like layer these in a sort of way that will go around here. So I'm going to do Option Shift and drag that. Oops. I have to hit enter, Option Shift and drag that. Option Shift, drag that. And now I'm just kind of rearranging it a little bit, kind of fanning it out. And I'm hitting enter after I move it, and I'll do Option Shift and drag this out. And move it. And this one has to come a little bit over here. Maybe like that. And I'll do Option Shift again and drag this over here. Option Shift again and drag this over here. Okay, so now I'm starting to kind of close in on that. So I'm going to space this out a little bit more, but I still want to cover the glasses behind it. But I'm going to get it right on that edge. And right over here on the edge, give myself some space for the eyeball. And okay, so that looks pretty good. So I'm going to use this now and just repeat it over here, but I can just take this. So here I'm going to name this glasses so that I know that that's the glasses layer. I'm going to take all of these layers. So I hold Shift and then I click from the bottom to the top and select it all. And then I right click and I create a group from the layers. And then I hit OK. And then I right click on the group and I select duplicate group. So now I have two of those. And if I hold Shift and grab the group, I can move it over to this side. If I don't hold Shift, it will grab just one of the objects. So you have to hold Shift when you grab the group. And I'm going to put it right there and then go up to edit and transform and flip it horizontal so that it's symmetrical, and I have to hold shift to move it over. Oops, there we go. And I let go. I'm going to grab that, move it just slightly over. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to grab this out. Like that. Maybe this one is, I don't know, maybe it's like this. And I'll Option Shift, grab this out, bring this over here, like this. Just kind of trying to get something there that I like. Maybe it's like that, I don't know. Okay, that's looking better. Something like that. I'd probably play around with this a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to get another object. So go to File and Open. And I'm going to get spoon. So this is already cut out, so I don't have to cut it out. And I can just take it and drag it over here. Now I have a spoon. And I am going to use this spoon as a material that I bend. So I'm going to bring this down, maybe like this, and go up to Edit and Transform and use the Warp tool. So this is what's kind of neat about working digitally, is if we were making this with found objects in real life, it'd be a lot harder to bend this spoon however we want. Let's see. Maybe like this. Okay, well, that's kind of neat. So I'll take that spoon and Option Shift and bring it over here. And then go up to Edit and Transform and flip it horizontally. So we have two sides. If I hold Shift when I move it over, it will stay in the same line horizontally that it was. Oops. Gotta let go of the mouse first before you let go of Shift. Move that here. And I'm going to bring in another spoon. I'll bring in a couple spoons. And I'll warp this again. So I'll go to Edit and Transform and Warp. Let's see what this does. Oh, it kind of went a little crazy here. All right. I'm just trying to do this quickly to show you some ways to use found materials, Photoshop, in a creative way. But I would spend a little bit more time on this if I were designing something. But I like this texture that it has, this kind of metal texture that the spoon has. And I think it looks neat. All right, so that's all right. I'm going to keep that. And now I will Option Shift and move this over here and go up to Edit, Transform, and flip it horizontally. And I'll do one more. And I'll go to Edit, Transform, and Warp. I don't really know. All right. Be like this. Kind of looks like, I don't know what that looks like. All right, that's good. I'll keep that. And then Option Shift and move it over here. Let go of my mouse and then Edit, Transform, and flip it horizontal. And then hold Shift and move it over. Okay, so I have this weird spoon washing machine set of glasses. I'm going to do one more. Give it a last object. I'm going to get something from this miniature dollhouse silverware. I'm going to get these little ceramic jugs. So I have to click here. And for this, I'm going to use, well, I'll magic wand and get rid of the white background and then deselect. And then I will just grab my lasso and lasso around here. Hope I didn't get that. We'll see. And I can Command X and Command V to paste it. It's really small down there. Sometimes it doesn't work for me, which is why I drag it out, but it should work. Okay, there's the jugs. They're a little bit more lo-fi, but that's okay because I'm gonna multiply them. I just want to use some ceramic and get in some color pops in there. So I'm going to use this and Command Option Shift. I'll repeat it. And maybe make a little grouping like that. And then I'll do it again. Option Shift. I'm going to put this kind of here and then Option Shift and here. Maybe I'll flip it like that and hit Enter. And maybe I'd put some more of these around, but I will take this group and make another group, right click and create a group from layers, group 2, and then right click and duplicate the group. Okay, hold shift and move the group over here. And then go up to edit, transform, and flip it horizontal. Hold shift and bring this over a little bit more. I think it's more like that. Okay, so here's my found object glasses design. And I am going to get rid of this background layer because I don't want any background, just want a transparency. And we'll save it on my computer, glasses example. I'll put it on my desktop, oops, on my desktop. Okay, so that's the Photoshop. And then I'm going to export, and I'll just do quick export as PNG. And mine is just going to be glasses example PNG. And I click save. And now I have my glasses template to work with, or my new design to work with. And I can close this. And so the first part of your assignment is to make a design with the glasses template as a guide and found objects. And you can do any kind of thing that you want. You can use these objects that I've selected as examples for you, or if you find, let's say you wanted to use a spoon, you could go and search for on Google. You could go to just spoon and go to images. There's so many kinds of spoon. There's some plastic spoons. There's spoons of different shapes. There's spoons made of wood. There's all kinds of different things to use. So if you have an idea for an object that you want to use, you can just Google it and do it that way, or you can use the examples that I've given you in the assets for the tutorial. And there's a lot of different things and ways that you can do this. I have another example of something that I made. So here's another example. I had a comb and I was using like cardboard and kind of wooden things. So I was using those materials as an idea. So there's a lot of different ways to create this project with the assets. And then once you're done, close out of Photoshop. I'm going to click Don't Save and go to SnapLens and open it. Lens Studio. And then go to New Project. I'm going to turn off the preview. Okay. Go to the New Project and save your project. I'm going to save it as glasses example. You can save it as your last name and your first name. And I'm going to bring in my glass design. So first I'm going to go to the object panel over here, and I'm going to add in a face image. And the face image automatically gives me a head binding and then the image. And I have to bring my image into my resources panel. So let me find my image. Where did I save it? You can go from the plus sign and go to From Files to find your Photoshop image. I don't know where I saved it. I have to search for it. Glasses example. Nope. That's my other one. Okay, I'm going to pause this and find it. Okay, I found my glasses here. So I'm just going to drag it and drop it into my resources panel in my Snap Lens Studio. And then when I have up here image selected, there's the texture, and it currently has a default texture. And I'm going to grab this file that I just dragged in and drag it over here and put it in there. So now it's going to show up there, and it's too small, so I'll drag it out and increase the size and just move it so it fits there. And I can move it here with my mouse, or I can also move it with the transform X and Y position. I can move it over left and right. Make it a little bit bigger. I can also scale it here. Okay. Well, it doesn't look exactly how, so I'd probably go back into Photoshop and move this because I don't really like how it is on the nose here, but I'm just kind of doing this quickly so that I don't spend too much time on all of the little details and just give you the idea of how it works. Okay, so that looks nothing like spoons and parts of a washing machine. So that's kind of cool. And I like using that, let's see here. I liked using that spoon material. And over here on the image, I can change the blending mode. So I could change it to a bunch of different things and really change the way that that looks. And let's see what the realistic looks like. Strange. Okay. That's really different. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at the normal. So there's a lot of different ways to use Photoshop to kind of prepare your assets and sort of go in between Photoshop and Snap Lens. So now that I see like where it falls on the nose, I would probably go back and edit that, and maybe I'll edit and make the spoon kind of do some more things, or really play around with a few different things till I get it to how I want it to be. And there's also these little things that kind of look like eyeballs, which is kind of neat. Unexpected. But okay, so now I'm going to add in a new effect that we haven't done yet, which is working with particles. So if you go up to this little box here, plus sign here, and click on the general and scroll down, there is something called particles. So if you add particles, and then drag it up to the head binding. So it's in the same tree as the head binding. So I had it out here before. Over here, I want it to be attached to the head because I'm going to have the particles attached to the head binding. So you can see it there. Let's see if I drag this out. above the image. Or below the image. Nope. Oh yeah, okay. So we have to position it. So right now you can see like when I move around, it's kind of in front of my face and below. I want to change the position. So if I zoom in here, so you can see in this panel here, there is this particle blob down here. Up here, I can, oops. I can switch between these tools. This is the move tool. This is a selection tool, a hand tool, rotation tool. And when I'm up here, I can also hit the R key or the E key for rotate or the W key for position. So I want to grab, this is also called a gizmo. So I want to grab the gizmo on the axis, this blue axis here, and pull it back. And as I pull it back, I'm pulling it away from the camera. So now it's like close to the camera, now it's away. And if I grab the green, I can pull it up. So you can see it's moving up and down. And I can move this red left and right. So I'm trying to position it on the glasses. So I'm grabbing this whole 3D space here and moving it around. And you can kind of see, I'm doing that by right clicking and just moving my mouse around. So you can see this better here now. So this is the camera, which has this fulcrum. There's this sort of range of view of the camera, which is around the face. You can see the mask is attached to the head binding face object. And it can be kind of hard to see in 3D space when you put something like the particles in where it's located if you don't move it. So when I look here, I can't really tell the depth of where it is. So I have to right click and I have to move this around in 3D space so I can see where it's located in space in relation to my face. So if I take this blue gizmo and I left click on that and drag it, and I have it really at the same spatial level as the glasses, it will now be attached to the glasses or appear to be attached to the glasses because it's in the same spatial area. If it's over here and if you're having this problem where you're looking around and the object does not appear to be attached, it's because it's not in the right spot spatially. And so you can get that move tool again, you can get it up here, or you can, when you've got this highlighted, you can get the W key. Oops. And then grab that arrow and move it towards right where the face mask is. Okay, so the particles, there we go. So now I've added particles to my face mask, and the particles are something that I can add behaviors to. So they can do different things based on what I do, similar to what we had in the last one where we can add a trigger event that will make the particles do different things based on things like face events, like opening your mouth. And we can make those particles into whatever we want. So now if we go down here, there should automatically be a particles folder that's added when you add the particles. And if you go to the particles emitter material, if you click on that, in the inspector here, you're going to get a whole bunch of things that we can change and do things with. And so one of those is textures. I'm going to move this preview down. Okay, so if you go down here and you go to the textures, there's the base textures, and here there says particle textures. I'm going to change that to something else. So let's bring in an image. We'll go here from files and go to my found objects tutorial assets, and I'm going to bring in my spoon, which already has no background to it. It's just the spoon. Go back to the particles emitter. And so now here for the particle texture, I'm going to replace that with the spoon image and drag that and drop it in there. So now I don't know if you can see where's the size on this. It is little spoons flying off of my face. And I can change the size. So this is all the different kinds of things that I can do. I can change the particle count. So there's 200. If I put that up here, you can see the increase of particles, so that makes it more or less. There's the spawn duration. So doesn't let me lifetime minimum and the lifetime maximum. That's how long it takes before they disappear. And there should be a size. Oh, I think it's kind of all the way down here at the bottom. Yeah, so here's the scale. So I can scale up. So the start size is 1. I can start that out. I can make these spoons bigger. I have the start size end at, let's see, I'll make this like 3 and 4. And then I'm going to take down the particle count a bit so you can see it. Okay. So there, now I have spoons flying out of my spoon glasses. And there's all these different things that we can do to change it. So if you want to kind of, play around with some of these different things here to see how it changes. Here's the rotation. Change that. See what that does. Oh, I went down. I don't know, it's rotating more. I'm just going to put that back to 1. Initial rotation is negative, I see. So now it's rotating a lot less. You can add in some rotation drag. I don't know what that does. Seems to like slow it down a bit. And end size. Oh, okay, so this is the start size. Oh, I see. So I can put the end size. I can make it shrink. So the spoons shrink. If I put this up to, let's say 6, the spoons get a lot bigger. And this can really change a lot of the way that like particles look. Let's see, where's my, scale size, force, gravity, local force. Well, anyways, just play around with some of those settings there just so you can see how the particles change. And it will change, you know, that sometimes you'll need a specific kind of setting. That's a random, oh no, what did I do? I messed this up. Okay, I'm gonna pause 1 second. Okay, I had accidentally unchecked my texture there, so that's what happened. Okay, so that, and these are all the settings. There's so many, it can be a rabbit hole, but you can drastically change the appearance of the particles. And if you look at the particle template, you can see all the kinds of different things that you can do with particles. But so let's add in some interactivity with the particles going on and off. So one of the things that we need to do in order to connect to events is check this external time box. And now it will stop. The particles won't move until there is something that I tell it to move. So we need to add a script. And if we go to the Lens Studio documentation, if you go up to help and then go to guides, it'll automatically bring you to the guides. And then under general, there is particles. So if you go to particles, this is really handy. All of these things kind of tell you a little bit more about all of the features. So here's the particles template. We can look at that. Shows us all the different kinds of particles to use from the template. It shows us how to add particles, configuring the particles, the material options, and below it has a detailed explanation for each setting. So I was kind of just playing around, but if you scroll down, it will give you all the details for what everything does. So it tells us to enable the external time in order to interact with the behavior of the particles. And they give us some code to cut and paste into the script component, or they also give us a particles control helper, which is a script that they've already written for us, and we can just download that and unzip it. So download that particles control helper, and then go to your downloads finder folder and unzip it. So I've already done it. So when you unzip it, you get this particle control helper .js, a JavaScript file. And just take that JavaScript file and drag it over here into the resources panel. And that is the particles helper, control helper script, which we can just drag into our GPU particle preset. So if you click on this GPU particle preset, you should have these two components here, and then just take the particle control helper and drag it over to this box and drop it in there. And now we can trigger the particles. So instead of a touch start, I'm going to do mouth opened. And now that triggers the particles. I'm going to make it stoppable, and we'll do stoppable with mouth closed. So now my spoons are moving when my mouth opens and closes. And I can put these particles anywhere. They could be, I could add in more. So let's see if I right click on that and I duplicate it and I move this one. I could do kind of similar how I duplicated in my Photoshop. I can add particles on the side here and duplicate it again and add some more particles on this side. It's a bit much for particles. But now I have designed an interactive spoon-based pair of glasses for my face filter. So that's what you're going to be doing for your assignment. You can design whatever you want and then bring it into SnapLens and try out the particles system. You can also go up to the objects add button, and if you want to try out an audio effect, so the audio effect component doesn't give us a live preview on the computer. It's something you'd have to demo on your phone, but here it gives us what it will sound like. So if you click on the original track
component modifies the audio of a recorded snap.
So that's what the original track would sound like, and this is what it would sound like with the effect applied if recorded on the phone.
The audio effect component modifies the audio of a recorded snap.
So we could change it. They have all of these different options here for how to change it. So we can make this alien voice.
The audio effect component modifies the audio of a recorded snap.
I don't think that sounds like an alien. Let's see what this robot sounds like.
The audio effect component modifies the audio of a recorded snap.
Okay. That could be something that goes along with my spoon. It could be a spoon robot effect. And if you want to try to test it out, you can send the lens to device. And if you have your phone and you have Snapchat on your phone, and you have a Bluetooth enabled, when you send it to your phone, it should automatically show up in your Snap lens. It takes a bit, and sometimes it doesn't really work. It really depends. So it works with my Android phone. My iPhone's kind of old, and I have to fix it a bunch of times. So try it out, see if it works with your phone. If not, that's okay, because we can also just use our computers to record our lenses. So give it a try, but do the tutorial and then take a snapshot of your lens with the particles going. And instead of a screen grab, we're going to do a quick little video. So just say, hi, this is my filter and the particles are working, or whatever message, a quick message, and then stop that and save it as your last name and your first name and glasses, and then save. And that will save in your project. And I have all these folders on here. Well, yes, here it is. Glasses example. Nope, that's not it. It's in Well, I'm not sure where my video is saved. I've been playing with this, so I have a lot of files that are called the same thing. So find your video once you record it and then upload it to the assignment. Okay, good luck, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon. Bye.